Good morning. How are you? Good. I am giving you a quick call about 122 North High Street. I was curious if you had gotten any more feedback from your client and if there is a number that he would or she would be interested at. Okay. Okay. Sweet. Okay. Totally. Yeah. Oh no, I know. I know. It's not an easy one, which is why I'm working hard to try and help him any way I can. Yeah. I forget. So he bought it, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, and um, he's now moved in with his lady friend. I think they're engaged, or I don't think they're married yet. And so he likes that situation better. There's no need for two properties. He never had any aspirations of being a landlord. And then I don't know why he started the renovations, but then, he started renovations, and then the company that he was using for that, I don't know, folded or something along those lines. Yeah, I would agree. Okay. Okay. Oh, he's definitely motivated. I'll present him whatever. And if your guy wants to start with a verbal offer to see if we're even in the same ballpark, whatever. He's very motivated. I mean, he has debt on it. He has debt on it, but beyond that, we'll figure out a way to make something work. Beautiful. Thanks, Nicole. Appreciate it. Bye-bye. I'm going to send one more follow-up text and make one more call, and then officially get started. I don't know why. I don't know why I did this, but whatever. Let me see here. Where I'm closing the loop on a couple of things. So that was me calling a buyer agent who had shown one of my active listings, and the feedback was like, maybe kind of interested. And so I'm just doing everything I can to see if we can get some kind of offer on it. And for whatever it's worth, I will often position it as, at what number would your client be interested? At what number? Like if they're I don't really know. Well, let's what number does it make sense at, and let's see if it's even in the realm of possibility, which actually does sort of relate to my opening mindset monologue. Hi, Pat. Period. Just circling back with you here to see where you're at with everything. Period. Would you be totally opposed to me popping by sometime later this week to take a quick tour and review options together? Question mark. That was it was some kind of cash offer request lead that came in over the weekend that I sent a Loom video on Monday presenting preliminary offer options and planting the seed for the 7-day stress-free home sale. And she responded, got it. I know that she watched the video, but it's been crickets. So I'm doing my best to close the loop and see where she's at with it. Okay, I got voicemail, and then we're going to get rolling. Mike, good morning. It's Josh. I am just calling to make sure you got my voicemail on Friday. I apologize. I know it was pretty lengthy, but just making sure you got it. And I'm curious, what has you interested? Are you thinking about or considering selling it and doing a 1031 or using the equity on something else? That would also be helpful for me to get a better idea of where we might be value-wise on it. Anyway, give me a buzz sometime this week. Thanks. That I'll just unwind that a little bit, and I'll use the analogy that Wendy used last week when I had her share some of her story, pulling the string. That person I just called is it. If I rewind the entire story, it started last August with a text message to Steve. It said, "Hi, Steve. This is Josh with eXp Realty. Would you consider selling your building lot at street address to a private client of mine?" He called, multiple conversations. I sell his building lot. I sell his 2-unit, 2 absentee owned properties that he had, non-owner occupied properties. We take those proceeds. He buys 63 acres of land. So I've done 3 transactions with Steve. Steve has referred me a guy named Arliss that I'm working with, and will be potentially listing another building lot that he has. And Mike is the investor that bought the 2-unit off market, who has now since brought me 2 more properties that I will likely be helping him in one way or another with, if not this winter, in the springtime. You just never know. Which actually maybe wonderfully ties in to my topic I wanted to start with, which is analysis paralysis. I am not going to share who sent me this, but I'm going to share an email that I got last night, and I'll explain why, and it'll be fairly obvious how this relates to analysis paralysis. I had it pulled up here, but I don't want to show his info, only because I didn't ask him. I didn't get his permission to share. So he sent me. This is someone that is one of our Founders Club members at Lead Deck and has been for months now. 2 months at least. He is going through, I'm not even going to read it all. It's lengthy. But he's going through all of these reasons why these deals can't possibly happen. These people are unrealistic, and these people are unrealistic, and it doesn't make any sense. How could I possibly make any of this work? To which I said last night, because I'm doing my normal dad taxi, dropping this one here and this one there, and then driving, 50 minutes. Anyway, I'm doing all of that. And I said, I will happily provide a more detailed reply. In the meantime, how many conversations have you had following the process we outline and the leads that we're providing with the tool? And what do you think the answer was? Come on. 0. Thank you, Susan. 0. We cannot steer a parked car. What are we doing? What are we doing? He is stuck in analysis paralysis. Well, these people are unrealistic and these people are unrealistic. How could we ever put a deal together? Well, you just kind of talk to people and you find where the happy medium is. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Who cares? But you can't, no manner of figuring it all out will overcome the fact that this is an encouragement to you all. No amount of AI is going to replace the fact that the vast majority of people, at least for the considerable future, are going to want to talk to a real human being if they want to sell or buy something that costs $300,000, $500,000, $1 million, $1.5 million. They're going to want to talk to a human being. No amount of it. Now, AI may make us all better at what we do, but I'm sure some people might be okay with that. A small percentage. But you still got to talk to people. And when we assume we understand or know the prospect or the client's motivation, we are making a gross mistake for our business. Don't allow their motivation or what they perceive as facts or their reality to cloud your judgment. Don't decide for them what is a good offer, what's a good deal, what's a good whatever. That's not your job. Your job is to have conversations, to uncover opportunities, and to literally, I know many of you on here aren't technically brokers, and I'm not either, but what we're doing is real estate brokerage, which is putting parties together for compensation or a fee. Okay. Now, obviously there's representation and so forth, but that is at its core, that's what we're doing. Just have conversations. Here's the game plan for today. I'll share my deal of the week email update. Something just fell over there in the corner. I don't know what happened there. Stuart shared something pretty cool, a couple of PDFs that I'm going to share with everybody. I am going to share a quick little success story that while I was on a Zoom yesterday, I wasn't the one hosting it, I was attending, and I was bored. Like I kind of had to be there for some updates, but I have admittedly, ADD a little bit. Maybe a lot of it. So I started using Lead Deck while I was on there. I tapped to text and email 4 leads, and I now have 2 off market, a 2-unit and a property that is multi-use. It's 4 apartments, 2 stores, 5 garages, and a commercial warehouse or some warehouse space off market. Now, I'm going to work on it's included in the deal of the week email, and I'm going to work on bringing them the buyer. I'll explain why I reached out in the first place, which was on behalf of a client to begin with. And then I was hoping to do or demonstrate how you can do circle prospecting with LeadDeck, but that'll depend on, I was waiting on a couple of people that, Stephanie's here. So we can at least do that with Stephanie. So I want to show you all, if you have a retail buyer, or it could be a portfolio buyer, how, and if you're using LeadDeck, and if you're not, I mean, what are we doing? How you can build your own neighborhood list or circle prospecting list, import it into LeadDeck so you can start tapping to call, text, and email. I did a little tutorial this morning on it, but I thought a real life, an IRL example would be useful as well. Larry says, dang, this could be me. It wasn't you, Larry. I mean, you would know if you emailed me, but it wasn't you. And look, I don't know. I think, if I'm being honest, I do think I'm wired differently. It's also why my wife and I work, because I have the opposite of analysis paralysis. I am the yes man. Can I do this? Yes. Well, how are we going to do that? I don't know. We'll figure it out. So I know that I am abnormal in that respect. I think God just made me different in that way, and to my detriment many times in my life, if I'm being honest, in many different settings, that has been problematic. And yet it has also served me incredibly well in other ways as well. So anyway, here we go. Let me get out of here. This format for my deal of the week email, I am in love with, because it continues to be incredibly fruitful. Which is, instead of 1 property, 3 to 5 bullets, reply for details, it's 3 to 5 properties, very, very like 1-line bullet description. Which of these would you like more information about? That has worked incredibly well for me. And it has kind of become my default template.
Working for me too.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I put like all 5 of my short sales on there. I got a land buyer. Boom. I got a call set up.
You had mentioned in LeadDeck Lab yesterday that you had gotten from your deal of the week email, you had somebody reply. Beautiful.
Yep.
All we're trying to do is get replies, because all conversion happens in conversation. We have to have so it has to start somewhere. And it goes back to, what I was saying during the analysis paralysis. Like you can't overcome the fact that you have to have conversations to do more transactions, period. Like it's just there's no getting around it. And this is a start of a conversation, which then can turn into a transaction. It just so happens for this one, I happen to have a ton right now of multifamily off-market deals. So this is all off-market investment. Having a little fun with investment opportunity deals of the week. Whatever, if we can't have some fun, what are we doing? Here's your Central PA off-market investment opportunity deals of the week. That's maybe a mouthful, but whatever. And then I've got 5 here, 2 of which are properties that I uncovered yesterday, tapping away while I was on I guess it wasn't a Zoom, it was a Google Meet, but whatever, same thing. This one is Mike's, the guy that I was calling about. This one is I'm going to check out later. I guess this isn't multifamily, but it's a package of properties. I'm going to check out later tomorrow. This CJ brought me. I've told that story a couple of times. This is the second one that the guy from Tapping yesterday. And then this is one, I think I mentioned this yesterday. I emailed this guy in December. And he just randomly called me Friday. Hey, I got this email from you. Are you still looking for multifamily properties? Is your client still looking for multifamily properties? Heck yeah, he is. What do you got? And he sent me over a spreadsheet. Who do you know that might be interested? Just hit reply. Let me know which number, and I'll get you all the details. I should have put here. I should have put in parentheses number or numbers. Do me a favor, please forward this email to anyone you think might be interested. I play with PSs. Sometimes I have none. I would say more often than not, I have some PS. And because these were all multi and interesting things, I wanted to point out that we have financing options. So PS, if you need financing options for any of the above or similar, we have options for you. Because sometimes that becomes an objection in their brain. Well, how would I possibly finance this? Well, I mean, they're going to have to, they may need some capital, et cetera, some capital and reserves, but there are options for any of these available. So that's my deal of the week email. That's hitting tomorrow morning. I'm working to committing or getting back on a better schedule with that, because the last couple I've just been busy and gotten behind, and they've been going out Fridays, and Friday is better than it not going out, but it is better Wednesday or Thursday, like Wednesday or even Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, statistically speaking, from an open rate and an engagement rate on emails, that tends to be the highest. And generally speaking, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, late morning, early afternoon, either right before lunch break or right after lunch break, statistically speaking. And email continues to be one of the highest ROI marketing media there is. You can find any number of statistical data, surveys, et cetera, that it's anywhere from 35 to 50 to 1 ROI. And it just so happens this costs me nothing. I mean, I guess technically I'm paying $85 or $90 per month to eXp Realty, of which Bold Trail is included, but I'm not paying anything in addition to that to be able to send this email out. So I could make the case that the ROI on these deal of the week emails is infinite, because I'm not paying for anything more with it. Questions on that or comments on that before I share what Stuart put together for us? All right. This was a topic a couple of weeks ago, pricing strategy. And for whatever reason, I think Stuart was cleaning off his desk, because Stuart likes to print things out. And he saw something about this, which made him curious. And he used two different tools that we've referenced here recently. One was Gamma. Campbell has mentioned Gamma, loves it, uses it. I still personally haven't used it, but by all accounts, it seems awesome. And I've heard other people say great things about it. And then he also used Notebook LM. For me, this obviously pops more, right? So this is more like the analytical type, and this is more the creative, engaging type. And these are made in a way that any of you could take and utilize in whatever form or fashion you choose. In other words, there's no branding on any of these. There's no specificity on here for market or brokerage or anything. So that was very kind of Stuart to share. I didn't think through the easiest way for me to share these. So let me do this. I think those are both of them. For now, I'm going to drop the PDFs in the chat. And then with the replay, I will make sure that we include those for folks as well. And for me, here's how I might use these. Number one, when I am chatting with, whoops, I wanted to bring that up. I wanted to have that off while I was talking here. Hold on. When I'm chatting with a seller, or if I'm putting together information and even a potential proposal for a seller, having a visual like this is very useful, because then it's not just your words. Even though this isn't like scientific data or facts, it's still a visual. And when people see something in writing like this, they tend to assume it to be more relevant or accurate. I have been including this PDF when I put together. I will do a Google Drive folder when I have somebody that raises their hand, and I'll put a number of different AVMs, MLS comps, etc. in that, so I have something to share and reference. That is also something that I use when putting together a proposal for them, because I don't really do listing presentations. I put together a proposal specific for their property. And this is just a PDF page out of what is that thing in Bold Trail? Present? No. There's an add-on thing in there. It's in that. So I literally it's part of a presentation, but I just ripped out this page from it. Now it's going to drive me nuts. What is that called? Let me.
One of their playbooks.
It's not a playbook.
Is it Core Present?
Core Present. Thank you. It was Present. I was just missing the core part. So I ripped that PDF from there. But that's more on like a pricing scale. I think this is a better, simpler explanation of it. There are 3 different pricing models, right? And this is what that looks like. So this is the aspirational, is kind of like Zillow Make Me Move. Like Jonita, your expired listing, he is aspirationally pricing that thing. Okay. And if you could get him to market value, you might be able to help him sell. If you can get him to event-based pricing, done deal. You'll absolutely help him get that thing sold. The tricky part is getting him from here to here or here, right? So easier said than done. But I thought these were great visuals. And if nothing else, also, I continue to be blown away at the output from Notebook LM. So every time I have a Zoom with a new Founders Club member or someone who wants a more interactive demo, etc., I take those Zooms, I rip out the transcripts, I feed it to Notebook LM, and it'll spit out an infographic and a summary in a matter of minutes, and they are incredible, the output. I also, let me think of this. Hold on. Let me give you one, make it a little bit more tangible. Not tangible, but specific to what we do, right? Because that's me, doing a demo with Jonita. What about when that's not the right one. What about, with doggone it, it's not here. Okay, well, who cares? I'll make one. The portfolio of 5 properties that I'm meeting with the seller, it's most likely tomorrow, late in the afternoon. It might be then or Friday. I recorded a Loom video for them. Now, this one was a little bit weird in that normally I'm recording a video about one property, right? And so this one was me kind of quickly going through several and just really positioning the fact that there's several ways that we can slice this, because they said, we can sell it all as a package of 5, or we could split them up a little bit, but we need to make sure that it aligns with a 1031 exchange that they want to do. All of that is kind of irrelevant. What I wanted to demonstrate is I can just take this transcript, pop it in here. Okay, so I copied the transcript text. I pop it in here. It takes, a couple of seconds for it to read the transcript. And then I hit infographic and it'll start generating that. And then I typically will do a report and I'll do a briefing guide or a briefing doc, which if I let it load up here, here's the other wild thing with this. So it has like defaults, but it will actually read the transcription and then make suggestions that it deems relevant based upon, look at this, portfolio disposition strategy. Why would I not want to see what that output looks like, right? So you can also tell it. So this, one of how I'm presenting or creating proposals in a lot of cases is I record a video proposing my solution for them and then take the transcript. Now, I haven't been using Notebook LM for them. I had been using something else, but I'm absolutely going to move to using this because the output of it is just great. I mean, it's just incredible. Harry, go ahead while these are loading up.
I just wondered, can you like set up a brand board in Notebook LM or something like
Probably.
that?
I have no idea. That is a wonderful question.
That way you could sort of have consistency in the look and all that kind of stuff. You could ask Notebook LM; it would probably tell you.
That's a great idea. Maybe I will do that. I'm not going to do that live here.
No,
That'll be something I'll play with and come back with an answer. I'm certain the answer is yes. I just don't know how to do it yet. I'm like so easily amused and entertained that even just like without doing anything else with this, I've just, the output has been pretty incredible. So here's the portfolio disposition strategy. 5 property package and 1031 exchange alignment. Obviously, I want this to be accurate and relevant. And even if it's not, the simple fact that I can share a several-page proposal with someone like this will immediately differentiate me above and beyond anyone else. Like right off the bat, it's spelling this street name wrong. And I would take 5, 10, 15 minutes, go through this. This is almost 1 million in volume between the 5 properties. So I want to present it. I haven't even had to do that yet because just from my Loom and already the fact that they were sort of warm, I have a tentative appointment where we're going to meet at one of the properties that is vacant. I think there's 5 properties, 2 are vacant, at least one or 2 are vacant. We're going to meet at one of the vacant properties so we can meet and kind of game plan, et cetera. But the output is just incredible. And here, I have no idea what this will look like, but oh boy, look at that. It is remarkable to me how well it organizes the information way better than I communicate it. I mean, like we use it for webinars, for sessions like this, et cetera. And the output it blows me away routinely. I know for sure, I've seen somebody doing this. You can not only do the branding that Harry mentioned, but you can also, well, I guess this is along the same lines. You can give it feedback on what you want the look and feel of these infographic outputs, not just color-wise, but I'm saying even more, do you want it more cartoonish or do you want it more, I don't know what another, professional, I guess would be another way. Janita.
So typically what you're saying you're doing with this after you do your Loom videos, are you packaging this in your email messages with the Loom videos or what are you doing?
I would say it depends. So one of the people that I was texting back with, let me find it here. Because she texted me back. Okay. Got it. Makes sense. I will reach out on Friday to see how things are going, period. I recorded for her a 1-minute Loom video. She had just replied to a text basically saying, yes, we're interested in an offer or we're open to offers options. In that case, I'm just recording a short video I'm introducing the idea that we have options, and I'd be happy to explore any of them with you and for you. We have institutional options and or our 7-day stress-free home sale. Where I'm using it to turn it more into an actual organized proposal is after I have the next conversation, usually. Meaning, or I guess the other example would be if instead of she replying to a text, and to be fair, she replied to a text on Sunday. So if she had replied on Monday, we probably would have had a lengthier exchange, and I might have jumped to that point. But I had a lukewarm response there. It was enough for me to open the door. I want to introduce myself and create that sense of her getting to know me a little bit, and the fact that I'm not just like everyone else. I'm not going to give you a lowball cash offer or just beg you to list it. I'm going to offer a variety of solutions and help you come up with the make the choice that makes the most sense. But the next step in the process, I had another example recently, which we're still trying to figure out when we're going to list it, where the first loom that I sent her was after a lengthy conversation. I already gathered a lot more details. So I made the loom, I recorded the loom, and I turned it into a proposal. But that was because I had already gathered a lot more intel. So it just depends on if I go right to the proposal with her after we had a small conversation, it might work, but I'd rather treat this like a process rather than a singular event.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. Totally. Thanks.
You bet.
Josh, I gotta jump in there, buddy.
Uh-oh.
Go back to where you were on. All right, so the upper right there, the little green button, upper right where it says video overview.
Mm-hmm.
So after creating that graphic last night, I hit that just to see what it would do.
Yeah.
Of course, it takes, and I forgot to go look at it. I just looked at it while you were talking. It's the coolest. It's about a 5-minute video. I'm going to share it in there. I can send it to you. I can paste it here. It's awesome. And for some reason, I don't even know how, it actually pulled in near the end that gamma graphic that you first showed. I don't know how it got into Notebook LM.
That's wild.
Yeah, I'm going to post it in there if you want to look at it. It's really cool.
The audio overviews, it creates a podcast style conversation between a man and a woman. We've done that. I took the webinar, my 3-step blueprint webinar, and fed that into there. The output is incredible. It is like literally mind-boggling. You should definitely play with it. And I'm on the Pro, but a lot of the functionality, I don't even know what the difference is. I'm on the Pro because the Pro gives me, I have like the Pro Gemini. I have an upgraded. It's $20 a month, and I get Pro Notebook LM and Gemini and my Gmail inbox and blah blah blah. And I use it a lot, but you can try it for free. And I'm telling you, I mean, it is remarkable some of the output that it creates. I don't know what the application for the audio overview would be, if I wanted to sell more local real estate, but it's really cool. Nothing else. In fact, I think on my podcast, I thought it was so cool that I actually uploaded that on my podcast channel. Trying to think, for those of you, if you want to hear the output of it, I'll try and find what date that was. It was from, let's see here. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I never uploaded it. Maybe I got, oh no, January 5th. January 5th. And the podcast art for it was just the infographic that Notebook LM spit out. If you want to hear it, it's wild. It's 14 minutes, and it is, the podcast, I think if you just Google my name in Apple Podcasts or Spotify or whatever, it should come up. But it is wild. Not only that, if you have the pro version, you can upload transcripts, do the audio interview, and you can interrupt the interview and ask clarifying questions. Like, obviously, if you export it, you can't do that, but you can engage with it in here and have a conversation with the interviewers about the topic. Just wild stuff. Harry.
So I just wanted to, I heard what you said about your inbox. So do you have Gemini access your inbox?
I don't know.
Just it's not to be a doom and gloomer, but if you're not careful, Google defaults and it reads all your stuff and trains AI on what goes into your inbox.
Oh,
So
okay.
you may want to, privacy concerns, whatever.
Yeah, no, that's a good shout. That's a good call. I think it's only doing that on my Josh at Grow with Josh, which is not my local real estate practice. That one is a free Gmail still that is linked up to, my EXP email, but it's worth checking that for sure. It's a good shout. Okay, so Stephanie, will you be ready in a couple minutes after my story here? Are you still up for
Yes.
being a guinea pig? Perfect. Okay. So we're going to do that next. But in the meantime, I was on a Google Meet yesterday. It's for the iList Enterprise account holders. And I like to stay informed and know what's going on, etc. So I'm on there, but like I said, I can't really, I'm not good at sitting still. And while I'm on, a client that I have his property listed, he's texting me, I really would like a small multifamily in this little section of Perry County. Well, that's all I need, right? In the blueprint, we just need a reason to start reaching out. So sometimes the reason is a property that we use as bait. Sometimes the reason is a buyer that we use as a way to, as bait for sellers. Because what sellers want is a buyer. They don't want us. Okay. We are a necessary evil more than we are a welcome guest. Now there's exceptions, obviously, right? And I don't want to talk in absolutes, but more often than not, they don't necessarily want us. So what I did was I created a folder. Perry County, this is the exception. I am often hammering that we should start very small and expand out. Start with a zip code, then you maybe expand to a city. And for most of you, you're never going to expand to a county. And yet, Perry County has one traffic light. The whole county has not many multifamily properties. So I'm making an exception, but with reason. And you'll see that I'm still following my own advice, but it in theory is an exception. So I made a folder of Perry County multifamily units for sellers, and I created 4 decks. Number 1 was out-of-state absentee owners. There are 4 in the whole county that are absentee, out-of-state, and own a multifamily. 4. Then 6 tax default, 8 involuntary lien, and 17 senior owners of a multifamily property. And I have only gotten through this first deck so far. And yet, from that first deck, in seconds, let me find it here. In a matter of seconds, while I'm sitting, Joe's catching me up to speed on what's going on. Dino, try not to show his phone number. Dino replies, "What's the offer? I'll sell it tomorrow if the price is right." I said I need a little more info and details in order to get you a preliminary offer to see if we're anywhere close. Would you have a couple of minutes for a quick chat this afternoon sometime? Yes, I got a building down a block, 4 apartments, 2 stores, 5 garages, and a warehouse. I collect X amount per month. I want X amount for it. This is the address. People have been asking me to sell it for a long time. If you got a customer, let me know. A customer. It's funny. Anyway, he ended up confirming what he would also take for the 2 unit that I was reaching out to him about. Because the property he was spouting about is not even the property I was reaching out to him about. So, you know, it's not a, you know, I don't have a signed listing agreement or contract or anything, but literally in 5 to 10 minutes while I was on something else, just tapping away, that happened, which can happen if you do it enough, right? If you do something long enough, you get lucky like this eventually, you know, every so often. And some days I spend an hour and it's nothing. Usually, though, later that day or the next morning, something happens. It's very, very infrequently that I will invest an hour into actually using the tool and tapping, and it doesn't yield some conversation. It might not be immediate, but there is some conversation that comes from it. And for example, Friday, the guy that called me, when I originally called and texted the list that he was on, I don't know that I got any reply. Now, I was doing it like 4 days before Christmas. So whatever, there could have been any number of reasons. And yet he still called. He's got 5 properties. And the, you know, if I'm able to sell them all, it would be like 1.5 or 2 million in volume. Just plant seeds, plant seeds. Sometimes you get the immediate reply because they're sitting at lunch and you just hit them in the right time. And sometimes it sits there for a while and they get back to you eventually. All right, before I get to Stephanie, I'm just going into the chat here. There's lots of good chat going on about Notebook, etc. All right, I think we're good. Okay. So this is what we're going to wrap on because I'm going to need to regroup before the 11 a.m. live prospecting. One of the topics yesterday on the Lead Deck Lab Mastermind Zoom from Stephanie and David, another Founders Club member, was around how can we use Lead Deck to reach out to a specific neighborhood or a specific smaller subset, more narrow than an entire zip code of tax default or an entire zip code of tired landlords, etc. And we have an import tool that Sean built originally, or the initial intent was to allow users to export expired listings from their MLS and import. But the reality is you can import any data set as long as it has street address, city, state, and zip. As long as it has those 4 columns, you can import whatever you want. And so we were going round and round. How can we do this? And how can we do it in a way that people can use what they already have? In other words, not have to sign up for something else to be able to do that. And one potential solution for some, but not all, is using Remine. In Bright MLS, we have access to Remine. Stephanie and David have Remine in their MLS. And apparently there's also a free version of Remine. Another potential solution was using RPR. I've played around with it, but I'm going to need some help with somebody who's maybe a little bit better educated about RPR because I couldn't get that to work in this specific use case. But what I thought we would do with Stephanie as the guinea pig is we're going to walk through what this looks like, IRL, finding the list, filtering it, exporting it, and then importing it into the tool so she can start tapping to text, etc. So, Stephanie, are you able to share your screen?
Yes.
Perfect.
So you want my MLS?
Well, we want Remine.
You want Remine?
Yep.
Okay. That's not it. Stop. Okay, hang on. Let me find it. Where is it? Matrix. Sometimes I have a lot of tabs open and they don't come up.
Well, that's fine. While you're figuring that out, Richard, I missed this earlier. What Josh calls real estate brokerage is how all licensees did this before the MLS came into existence. We all become addicted to social media and YouTube marketing and relying on the MLS. When our MLS systems die, Lead Deck is how we are going to survive and thrive. I would also posit that while they're still in existence, an example that we're about to walk through, Stephanie, is how you actually provide value to clients and demonstrate that value to them, even if they end up buying a property that is actively listed on the MLS. Like, why would you not be doing, if you're just relying on the MLS, you are literally just an order taker. Now, I know you are, you're not, but like in some ways you are. If you're just relying on that and setting up your clients on an automated search alert and waiting for them to say, hey, I'd like to go, look at this one. And, would you like to make an offer? If that's just what you're doing, are you really providing value and service beyond just being there? Just a thought exercise. Okay, go to search on the left-hand side.
Hey, Josh, do you mind if I just finish that thought off quickly?
Sure.
The thing that I didn't put in there was sort of what you said. Lead Deck right now is a competitive advantage. And if you're doing more than every other agent, not just the typical agent, but about 99.999% of all the other agents or brokers in your market area, then you're going to be different. And it may be different enough where you could have an offering where you might be able to charge a higher fee.
100%. If you're providing more value, it stands to reason that you can also and should also be compensated for that value. Okay. Stephanie, we need to, a couple of things. Let's, where it says overlay polygon occupancy, or did you already do a polygon for this specific use case?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so let's clear those. And by either grabbing the map or however you want to do it, we need to find the geographic neighborhood target that we're looking for. Okay, so how Stephanie is doing it is she is looking for the elementary school that area is serviced by. Although, why was it that specific block? That was weird. Okay, so we have that's the starting point, and the default outline is the geographic area of properties that would go to that elementary school. And is that what we want, Stephanie? We want that as?
Yes.
Okay. If we didn't want that, just for others who are going to try this, up in the top right, you can do a polygon, a square or rectangle, or a circle radius search. So there are other ways you can get those geographic targets. But in our case, what her client is looking for is a home in this elementary school. So that's like the frame of reference that we're going from. There are 2,683 results. That is way too many. And also, I'm sure, includes properties that don't fit the person's actual search criteria. So the next thing we're going to do is go to the advanced, where it says advanced top right, and we're going to do some filtering. So go ahead and click that, Stephanie, and you're doing a wonderful job of demonstrating and highlighting things. You're like a pro here.
Like Vanna.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, she's still doing it. I can't even believe it. Anyway, Okay, perfect. So she's going to start. It needs to be a 4-bedroom, and immediately it takes it down. Look at that. Immediately cuts it down considerably. It needs to be a 4-bed, 3-bath. And she has a square footage amount as well. Okay. So we've got 165. She also has, she wants it to be newer, he or she, whoever this client is. So she's starting, there's several ways you could do this. But the layering process is, what's the geographic target? Is it a specific neighborhood? Is it, in our case, a specific elementary school that they want to go to? I've had clients that said, we absolutely want our child to go to this middle school. There's any number of ways that you could that you could find to apply this process. Then we want to narrow down the property features the same way we would if we are setting them up on an automated MLS search. They want to be in this school district or this elementary school. They want this many bedrooms. They want this many bathrooms. They want it to be this, and this. So that's the first layer. Is there anything else property feature related?
A pool, they want a pool, but when it went down, it went to what, 6, I think? 8.
Yeah, 8.
Well,
Did you look at your square footage? Is that 2,500 exactly, or is it above?
It's
or-
minimum. That's
Okay.
minimum.
yeah.
I don't use Remind.
Yeah. Well, it's up to you, Stephanie. We could do those 8 pool homes, or if you want to remove that, and understand that they could certainly, if they got it at the right price, they could certainly add the pool.
Right, and they're open to doing that.
Okay. Well, it's up to you. Do you want to create 2 different lists? One that has a pool and one that doesn't?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Well, let's go back up to the top. And all I do, because yesterday you were talking about statuses, I go to the off market status
Okay.
and I just choose off market. It should be 8. Okay, because I was going to say, you had said before there are no actively listed that fit their criteria. So that's good. The other thing, anytime you're doing something like this, test for logic. Meaning, does the output logically make sense? And I'll give it, for example, on the opposite side. And Doreen won't mind me sharing this. But Doreen was on our live Q&A on Friday. And she was sharing some results of data she was trying to pull from her MLS. And at the end, we realized this doesn't match logic. There can't possibly be this many multifamily properties in this zip code. There could be in the county, but in this one zip code, it just doesn't make sense. This would make sense. So of the 4-bedroom homes, it's like, what is that? 8% or 5% of them have a pool. Like, yeah, it kind of makes sense. I am certain also that there are properties that have a pool that this is not catching. In other words, it's not reflected in the public record. So we're gonna use this as an example, but then we'll go back and we'll make a second list that is doesn't include this list, let's say. All right, let's hit the list results, blue button, top right. And then we need to select all by the checkbox to the left of the address, middle left. Yep. Select all. And then we got to go back up to the top right and hit the cart. And you can name this whatever you want. I do believe there's a character limitation. I think you can only have 25 characters. So, there you go. Easy peasy. So we're going to add those. Oh, okay. You have to type it out and then you have to select it. So you have to type that out and then it'll populate it where it says create. You have to then click on that. There you go. I think now it's good. I think you can add those. And we can now, beautiful. Thank you, Stephanie. Wonderful. I'm not gonna call you Vanna. Over on the left, we're gonna go to carts. On the far left. far left.
Oh, okay,
Yep,
the left.
far
First.
left. There you go. And we're going to select all under next to watch list. Next to watch list. Yep.
Okay.
And then we're going to hit export. And you want to name it again. This time I don't think you have to like click anything else. It'll just name it. It doesn't like the fact that it doesn't like special characters. Go ahead and export. It doesn't really matter. You don't have to play with the columns, because as long as the exported data is a CSV file and it has a street address, a city, state, and zip in 4 distinct columns, the data is good to go. So before we do the other one without pools, let's go ahead and take that data. Actually, no, I'm sorry. The data is not ready to be exported. Once you submit that, it will take, now that was only 8 properties. So very quickly, if you look at the bottom left, there is a red 1 alert button right there. Yep. So because there was only 8 properties, if you click there, you can then hit the download. Ooh, where did it go? I guess hit refresh again. It had given a red, it had shown, oh, there it is. I don't know why it wasn't there. Okay, so click that and now hit download. And then let's go over to Lead Deck. And we're going to go to Deal Deck. And we can hit okay, you can scroll to the bottom. You can also, for those that are curious or whatever, there's a button at the top that'll jump you to the bottom too, that just says imported leads. If you click that, that'll jump you to the bottom. Either way is fine. We're going to upload leads CSV. And, oh, you picked it that fast? Did we miss that?
Yes.
So, okay. So for those that, because that didn't show on my screen for whatever reason, you have to find the CSV file and choose that one. So that happened lightning fast. Now, here's what I found in testing it this morning. It is appropriately auto-detecting the property address, city, and state. For whatever reason, it's not the zip code. So where it says status under zip code download or drop down box. So where it says zip code and it says status, let's hit the drop down box. Yep. And we have to go and find zip code 5 or zip 5, I think it says. Yeah, zip 5. We want zip 5. Now, this is critically important. Do not choose the mailing address, because it could be an absentee-owned property, and that's the address that the taxes are going to, but it's not the property address. And in this case, we want the property address. Okay? Let Lead Deck figure out if it's absentee-owned or any of that stuff. You don't have to worry about that now, or at this point anyway. We just want to make sure that what we're uploading, I just want to be clear, what we're uploading is the property address, street address, city, state, and zip code for the subject property, regardless of whether or not it's an owner-occupant or an absentee-owned property. Okay, so let's scroll down and hit that Validate Addresses button. And if we're good to go, you'll see whatever number on the left of the number of records and 0 warning, 0 problematic. If the data is not good, you will see a warning there. What does that mean? The data has to match the mailing, the address that the post office uses, basically. Where this will break is, I'll give you a different use case. It is unlikely to break in this specific use case because we're exporting property addresses. Where I've seen it break is if I go and export a list of expired listings, and one of those listings is, lot number 88, model whatever, because I screwed up the way I filtered the expired listings, and there was a new construction home or a property that doesn't have a recognized postal street address yet, it will flag it. And if it flags it, it kills the whole file. So if that happens, you just have to go and find what the warning or the problem is, delete that row, save the CSV, and then try again. It won't hurt anything, but that's what to do if you see that. So go ahead and hit the purple proceed to import. And yep, you can hit the start import. It doesn't take very long for it to, especially on small data, it'll take, a couple seconds to at most a minute, and there you have it. And now Stephanie can tap to call, tap to text, tap to email. What she can also do, and this is new as of Monday night and just released and shared with all the Founders Club members yesterday, when she talks to, why is there multiple? Oh, no, I'm sorry. They're not. They look similar because it's all in the same neighborhood and a lot of the same streets. I thought I saw the same property twice there. The black gold address. What she can do is if she talks to Keela and Keela says she's interested, when she hearts that, it will add her to her hand of sellers that have said, yes, I would consider selling, or yes, I'm open to an offer, or yes, we've been thinking about it, whatever, any sort of potential positive response, we can add them to what and we need to come up with better naming for this, but for now, they're just called master decks. So that is for the buyers that you have in your hand that are ready, willing, and able to make an offer, which could be portfolio or investor buyers, but they could also be retail buyers, which is what Stephanie has. We've got a seller master deck. So that's your hand of sellers, like the fella yesterday that gave me the 2 multifamily. He's already in my seller master deck. And then within lead deck, we can broker or matchmake completely off market. We're creating our own internal MLS, essentially. I mean, not exactly, but to some degree, that's the idea. So Stephanie can now go through those and tap to call text. When she's doing that, because she has a real and specific buyer, the script she uses can be more specific. In other words, she can say, would you be open to, or would you consider selling your property at street address to a private client of mine this winter or spring? They're looking for a 4-bedroom in Summer Elementary School. They would love if it has a pool, but it's not a deal breaker, or something along those lines. That makes it so much more specific and relevant, and therefore more likely to get responses. And not necessarily a positive response. And I just mean it might not be a yes, but more people will respond. And so she can ask follow-up questions. If they say no, do you know, or have you heard anyone else in the neighborhood talking about selling? Well, no, I haven't. Could you do me a huge favor? Please hang on to my information. And if or when you hear anyone else talking about or thinking about selling in the neighborhood, will you please let me know? Stephanie, do you have any follow-up questions? And should we do it one more time?
Yes, let's do it one more time.
Perfect.
But I want to let everybody know something here. One of the 8 on this list, I happen to know their son is a senior in high school who played middle linebacker with my son, who's a junior. And so they could very well be interested in moving after he graduates this spring.
That is great intel. And that was intel that you're using to proceed. What I would caution all of you against is making decisions or judgments in the other direction before actually communicating. What I mean by that is this. I got a message on Monday from one of our Founders Club members. She took the challenge of reaching out to 100 absentee owners. In the first 21, she got 3 yeses. 21, she got 3. in communicating that, she said, I didn't reach out to this one and this one and this one because they just bought it. And I said, don't judge for, number one, they own more than one property. They at least own the one you're reaching out about and a primary residence. Many of them own way more than that. Just start the conversation. No, we don't want to sell that one. Or do you have any others that you might want to sell? No, we don't. Are you looking to buy? That's not what Stephanie was doing. Actually, Stephanie, you don't have to do any of that. You don't have to do any of that.
Oh, okay.
Go back to advanced, because until you clear the filters, it saves your filters. It's a beautiful thing.
Sweet.
So now we're going to go down to that pool selection. Yep, you could do that. I don't know that we can, I don't think we can exclude that filter. Go ahead, scroll down and see if, I don't think you can exclude having a pool. What is the little 2 dash marks? What is that?
Equals.
That's equal, so that means it will have a pool.
Okay, so can we do, if you click it, will it make it not equal to?
Well,
Look at that.
Look at that.
We're learning here. Oh boy. So we're gonna do that, and hopefully it should say, what should it say, people? 108. Look at that. Beautiful. So we're gonna go list results. And we're going to select all again. And we're going to go add to cart. And we're going to name that again. Now, 8, very manageable. 108 is a lot. There are several ways Stephanie could choose to handle this. Once she has the output, okay, so let me actually narrate this so we have this documented well. She went back to list. She then she selected all. She created or hit the cart button top right, named the new cart, saved. Now we're going to go over to the carts on the left again. And now we've got summer without pools. We're going to select all. We're going to export. We're going to name it. And then I'm going to fill in some things while the export is preparing. So this list is considerably larger. She could just import the whole list and just plan to work through those 108 and the 8 and the 108, the 116, and maybe she sets a goal. I'm going to reach out to 30 a day for the next 4 business days. Whatever. She could also, if she wanted, she could slice the export of the 108 into 3 buckets. And so, in other words, I'm just thinking from a credit usage perspective. If you didn't want to blow 108 credits today, you could slice up the data in whatever increments you want and upload that. It's more work, it's more steps, etc. But for those that are curious or wondering, and I think it's particularly more relevant if you've got an even bigger bucket that you're, filtering from. So David is also, that also pops up when it's ready if you're in the app. So you can hit that download button. Don't close it out. Just hit the blue download button. That'll download it for you. So my point is, you can do all 108. It's fine. Just know that when you import these, it is going to spend a credit to append data to make it so that you can tap to call and text and email. And if you don't want it to do that all at once, you can just create 3 or 4 different CSV where, okay, I'm going to go 1 through 30, and that's CSV 1, and then I'm going to do 31 through 60, and that's CSV 2, and I'm going to go 61 through 90, and that's CS3. And in order to do that, you just make copies. So you open your CSV file, and if you use Numbers or Excel, or you can even use Google Spreadsheets if you don't have either of those. I mean, that's free, and anyone can use that. Jonita.
So just real quick, now if we separate it all into, or that particular 108 into like maybe 3 different decks, did you say earlier that we can put all 3 decks into a single folder or not?
Yes.
Okay.
I think you can. Well, I know you can. I can't see any reason why the imported decks wouldn't be able to be put into a folder also, but I've not tried it with the imported. But we can check here in a minute.
You can, Josh.
Okay.
I last night pulled some expireds in before, and I had 4 or 5 that I set up one folder for.
Yeah, the folders for organizational purposes, which by the way was Stephanie's idea from last week or 2 weeks ago, is a wonderful idea for organizational purposes. And that's like when I was doing the Perry County multifamily. I created several decks and then I put them in a folder before I started working them. So right from the get-go, I've got some organization there set up.
Awesome. Thank you, Stephanie.
You're
If you don't
welcome.
mind. I just noticed a number of people were requesting access to that video. First time I've ever used Notebook LM, so I don't know how it works and don't know why you can't open the video. But I granted access to some. Susan and James, I was getting an error, wouldn't let me grant you, so I emailed that link to you. Also to Richard and Doreen, but your access should have been granted. So check that out. We'll all learn together on using and sharing Notebook LM.
And I'll see what I can do to get the raw file, and I'll include that. What I'm going to do is create a Google Drive folder that has the PDFs that Stuart had originally shared this morning, and I'll do my best to get that raw video file and put it in there that anybody can download those or use them in whatever, and it'll be included.
I'll email it to you as well, John.
What's that?
I'll email that file to you as well.
Perfect. And so that'll be added, that'll be included with the replay of this, which you can find on leaddeck.ai/closers, leaddeck.ai/closers. Anything else on this, Stephanie, that you have that to clarify or get help with before we wrap it up? Because I gotta regroup, and I gotta buy Harry a cup of coffee.
I was looking at.
I saw that yawn, Harry.
In Remind, and then is there a cell score that shows up in Lead Deck?
Yeah, that's a good question. I will have to ask Sean if that is possible. It's not showing. If you open up the card there and scroll down a little bit. Let me ask Sean if that's possible. I don't know if it's only available if it's data that we generate, or if it's just that he just has to do an extra mapping function or something. I don't want to assume anything, because you know what happens. I would think it should be possible to, when we're skip tracing, also check that and append that information. And it may just be that he hadn't thought of that. But there may be something to the fact that if we're importing the data, it won't be. So let me get back to you on that. Everyone on that. I'll have an answer tomorrow morning, if not the 11 a.m. session.
I can't remember. I was a little distracted yesterday when he was going through the new version. There was something about if you had pulled leads previous to this update would not have something or other. I can't remember.
They wouldn't have it. The seller targets wouldn't have the sell box. So
Okay.
With the new functionality and the ability to the way we're describing it is it's the ability to in-app match. Think about it this way. Here, this might help people picture it. In your MLS, or at least in most of your MLSs, if I add a new listing and I go to my listing, I can hit a button that says reverse prospect, and I can see all of the agents that have clients set up on a search alert that my listing fits. The idea with this is that same concept. So if I favorite or I add a buyer to my master buyer hand, my master buyer deck, when I open that up, it will go and find any other cards in the deck that buy box matches the sell box. And so in order to do that, we have to have a buy box and a sell box. So the part of the update is including the sell box. However, what Sean is calling legacy data, meaning data that was pulled in version 2.0 or sooner, doesn't have that, which means if you go to one, you just have to hit a button and it will add it. There's no way that he's found thus far to like automatically add it to old data, but you could go to an old seller deck and add that sell box. These should have it. And if not, it means that the same question about the sell score, I need to ask him about that. Can that be automatically appended when we're importing the data? It's automatically appended if you go and pull a seller target deck right now, but I don't know about the import. I mean, we could look at it if you want to open one of those.
In Deal Deck?
Well, I was going to say it with the expired, but you can, if you want to see how to do the updated, we can just, go to Deal Deck and then scroll down and go, that Round Rock, I'm assuming wasn't recent, that orange one there with the 5 properties. That wasn't recent, right?
Probably not.
Yeah. So go ahead and click that and just pick any one of the properties. And you'll scroll down. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. There it is. Auto generate sell box. Just hit that green button. And there you have it. And now it makes that property available to be matched in app. Meaning, if I go to my master buyer deck and I have a buyer that their buy box matches this, it automatically matches them up. So like for yours specifically, you can add your retail buyer as a buyer in your master buyer deck, and then you can see them.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Okay. So leave me.
Go to Deal Deck. Scroll up. Go to the green My Buyers, that green 0. Hit add a buyer, and then you just put their information in. Well, don't do that here. We're screen sharing. But once you add them, it'll say you'll see them there, and then it'll also match them up. And the leads that you imported are very, very specific. I don't know, there will be some breaking point of what will match or not match. What's that? Well, here, then
Let's
stop.
go with that.
Okay.
I'm not gonna.
Well, no. It won't do anything if you don't do that. You have to put all the data.
Oh, okay. So I can stop share then.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can make up a name and an email and use all the other data
Right.
and then go back and change it.
Here, I don't care as much, so I'll just show mine real quick. I mean, I care, but at least I can, defend it, let's say. So here are my masters, and I have a lot of work to do, but I've at least added some. This person, like I have an offer out on a 10 unit with this person, and I can look most recent sale and then find matching sellers. There are it checked 3. So none of my, where it is here, none of these 3 match his buy box. So when I hit find matching sellers, it said none because there's no currently. So the goal is what you want is people to flow up. So you want people from these down here to be flowing up into these so that we have more potential matches. We have more cards in our hand that we can match up. And the more we have in these, the more likely matches we have. But they should only be flowing up if you've had a real conversation with them. Don't just like put anyone in there. You're putting people that you had a conversation and you're confident if I went and showed them this type of property, they would make an offer. Or if I was able, even Jonita's expired listing, he's unrealistic, but she should still add him as a seller because she can put what he's expecting and maybe there's a match at some point. And it's another way that she can keep that person front and center because in a month, she might want to say, hey, I'm just curious where you're at with this.
So
Okay,
if I
so,
understand you correct, Josh, so the matches only happen between the My Seller and the My Buyer boxes?
Well,
Not any of the other decks down below?
maybe I just misunderstood Sean when he was describing that yesterday. Let me clarify some of that, and I'll bring an update tomorrow morning on several things. The question about sell score on imported leads, and I guess the question on where it matches. Like, how do we match here, someone here to down here? What is that? Because I understood it as any one that we had run would show up there. And maybe it just means that we have to have multiple layers of matching. So it might mean that this, that's inventory, find sellers. I just need to clarify a couple of things with him.
Okay.
So
I thought it would match any deck.
that was my understanding with the way he explained it yesterday. So I'll get clarity with him on what that means or looks like.
Perfect, thanks.
All right, I gotta wrap this. Go ahead,
one last
Stephanie.
question. I'm trying to fill out this information, but it doesn't let me put the school district in here. It doesn't say anything about pool or no pool.
You could
All
probably
I
just
have
add
is-
that to notes, right?
I can, but I didn't know if it would.
Well, there's no way, some of that other information, there's no way for the app to recognize it.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. So
at
I
least
completed-
currently.
Okay. So I completed the card, and then I generate posts? No. Find matching sellers.
Well, no, did you add the card yet?
I did.
Yeah, then that's all for now. You're not going to, I just wanted you to do that. So part of this is actually matching them up. The other part is visually being able to look every day during your time blocks of productivity. Who should I be working on finding a match for today? And in what ways am I going to work on that? So this particular buyer match, the work you're going to do is working through the imported leads to try and find them the match. You may not necessarily be doing the in-app matching for her, but there's multiple benefits of having visually in those decks what was the inspiration for module 0 of the 3-day deal sprint, which is the time block of building out a Google spreadsheet of these are the buyers that I have that are theoretically ready, willing, and able, and these are the sellers that I have that might consider or have indicated that they would consider selling or an option or an offer on it, and having that so that it's like more tangible in the tool for everyone to be constantly referring back to and flowing up, getting more from the lower decks into there, because the more you have up in those top 3, the more time you're going to spend there, and that's when you're closer to money, right? Like the more you have up there, and the more seasoned the data is up there, the closer you are to matching things up and making things happen.
FYI, Josh, based on yesterday's conversation, saw another guy looking for land in a Facebook group. He posted a map with an area which is literally just south of me. So I replied to him, and I did a little video with his Richard name flash. I hadn't heard back from him, but we'll see.
Beautiful. All right. I really have to regroup here. The 11 a.m. session, which you can find the link at leaddeck.ai/sprints. Leaddeck.ai/sprints. I think all of you who are here are logged into that one. it is going to be a work session. So if you've got work to do, Stephanie, you can use it as time to just be tapping and talking, and I'll narrate some, but I'm going to be reaching out to tired landlords and multifamily buyers. Tired landlords, because it's what I already promised, and I'm going to continue to work on finding a property I have a retail buyer similar to Stephanie's, that their target isn't quite as narrow as hers. But I want to reach out for them, and I need to find more potential buyers for the multifamily properties that are in my deal of the week email, and particularly the 2 from yesterday, especially. Okay.